I think to see maybe tomorrow, because like today we really went again wide.
For the first time on his debut, but he just crashed out at the wrong moment. But I'm excited about this session now, and Franco
Morbidelli the points with problems last weekend, and then look at that huge puff of smoke billows out of that Petronas Yamaha. There's any kind of more mechanical issues which dogged him at the start of last season. I mean, when Franco Morbidelli was ruled out of one of those,
he will not want to make the same mistake again.
Yeah, this time last week the world champion had a face like thunder, rescued it as he so often does.
Start of this session, you may see a couple of riders try and get a time attack in early here, just to
put to go for the soft front, soft rear tyre combination, because it was, by Qatar standards at this time of the year, I just wonder perhaps with a little bit more ambient temperature around maybe this weekend, whether anybody will feel like it's worth risking going for.
According to the forecast for tomorrow and Sunday night.
Yeah, and we know how problematic that can be, as we saw on Sunday night. Full of drama and full of frustration for the Italian. As we said twice, he had to pull off the circuit with smoke coming out of that exhaust pipe, really restoring a lot of faith that he might have lost in Yamaha. There was a few cutting comments, shall we say, post-race from Franco Morbidelli yesterday, but yeah, tough start to the weekend for the Italian.
Yeah, it was interesting actually yesterday, the various TV doing anything like that again, even if he is thinking it. But let's hope he can have a trouble-free session here. The man who finished second in the world, don't forget, last year in the moto.
Part of the Petronas Yamaha garage have found something for these evening sessions in Qatar, because last weekend Morbidelli wilted. But it was in these later sessions when the temperature dropped that Morbidelli really did struggle.
55 in this session at some point. Here is Danilo Petrucci entering the pits already at the start of the session. He went out on a medium front, medium rear.
On the Tech 3 KTM mission, he was inside that top six at his conclusion. Just needs seat time, doesn't he? And about KTM's problems with that front tyre durability, and of course how everybody on Sunday night, maybe the conditions forced their hand. With Michelin Motorsport manager Piero Taramasso. Simon.
Yeah, I am. Piero, I had to come and ask you because that the hard works really well what you brought it here, you know, designed for in the heat of the day. The hard front is the guys who push hard or have machines that need a harder front tyre, you know, the different manufacturers. Can you explain why?
Yes, the medium is different philosophy of front tyre. You know, the soft is symmetric. The center on the left is the soft compound, and on the right is the hard compound. And because it's asymmetric, it's not the same. You know, it's not the same as the symmetric one. We use the
because it's really interesting what you're saying. Here we go.
Yeah, what I say just is the medium is asymmetric tire, it's two symmetric and one asymmetric. So they feel difference, you know, in feeling. And this is disturbing a little bit the port on the right side.
I remember the older medium being the tire.
Another story, because that tire we never used here in Qatar. It was a medium that we used, for example, during the safety commission. I went there, Dorna was there, all the riders, they were there. Only one.
Sunday night has sent social media into overdrive as we saw him rocket from 14th to 4th by the first.
A little more time to try and adjust to life in MotoGP. As we just get Bradl across the line, he'll go in the top 10. When you look at his first year, Luca Marini is a steady worker, a bit like Morbidelli, we mentioned that last week. He worked, and that was only at the back end of 2018 as well, so it's going to be a little bit more time for Luca.
Yeah, he's going to be takes his time to find his feet in a new category, doesn't do anything stupid, bashes and beats himself up by crashing into the season. So yeah, I don't think it's going to take Luca Marini too long, but Andrea Bastianini certainly made a great fist of it last weekend. What was it, 5 for the top 10 in this session?
Here is Alex Marquez, really excited to see how Hondas get on once we get into Europe as well, because Crutchloper's on the podium. It just doesn't seem to be a bike that's sort of a match made in heaven, shall we say, with the Losail International.
To be fair to him, he's been mighty close, hasn't he? He's run Andrea Dovizioso very close in both 2018 and in Marquez certainly is all guns blazing and all gung-ho to be back in action on that RC213V at the next race in Portimao in Jerez.
KTMs in this session have been in and out of the garage, trying just about every tyre combination you can think. Getting to the nitty-gritty yet though. 25 minutes left in this session. In about 10 minutes time, maybe 15, it will all go on.
But a bit like a few other riders, struggles to get the best out of that Michelin soft rear tyre in time attack mode, which is Patty's run that low fuel load. Don't have to worry about fuel consumption. They can just turn the wick up on that top. Aleix Espargaro A shame that we didn't get to see that lap a few moments ago. He went into the long lap penalty loop, and that's why Aleix Espargaro wasn't able to continue what looked like being potentially a P1 lap in this session.
He managed to get through to the top 10 this time last week, and that was crucial. He needs to do the same again.
Didn't really capitalise though, did he, Steve?
No. Suzuki. It'll be a 65th MotoGP race on Sunday. Alex Rins still with us.
Disappoint, but it's a long season. But I can see him being there, yeah.
Definitely seems to be, over the last year, a lot calmly admitted. He hit rock bottom after the move to KTM went horribly wrong. And now that he
stepped away from KTM, clearly he was hating life at KTM. It was just not a match made in heaven at all. He didn't get off. So brave of him to step away, because it could have been the end of his Grand Prix career. It could, you know, or certainly in MotoGP. I mean, I think at the time, Zarco, Ducati, I wouldn't say it's a gamble because Zarco was a proven talent on the Tech 3 Yamaha. Ducati gave Rama Racing, he needed some convincing to go in there. It was all about them giving some factory personnel, really working the factory boys, of Pecco and Jack.
Yeah, another good lap here. That's 2 on the trot from number 30, Takaki Nakagami, the Idemitsu LCR rider, second place for him.
So you might as well go for it now when it's going to be the crucial time to get those lap times. And we should mention, of course, huge congratulations to the LCR 5th anniversary since LCR racing was formed back in 1996. Britain's first winner in over 3 decades in Brno back in 2018. They gave Casey Stoner his big chance in MotoGP. The opening half an hour of this second practice session has been a bit of an uphill battle for Rossi.
Interesting that Maverick, here is Martin, and he's got a bit of a buffer as he goes through Sector 3. Sector 3 not really a Ducati
4-4 at this stage on a medium rear tyre.
Yeah, just a bit. When Maverick's got that confidence, everything's
a good point in the team launch just before the first Grand Prix of the season, where he said, sometimes I think the people behind Maverick have a bit of self-belief, which he's going to have taken from last weekend as Jorge Martin goes top 54.056.
Yeah.
First into the 53s tonight, 53.969. As Steve mentioned, Rins did qualify pretty well last week and a little bit of a breather.
Here is Fabio Quartararo. He's a 10th up in Sector 2. Maverick Vinales immediately switches where we are going to see some fireworks here.
Yeah, there's going to be 2 or 3 time attacks per rider coming in here, isn't there? Fabio Weekend was a bit of a problem for the Frenchman. Through 15 he comes. Yeah, they're going to be nudging him very close to the top 3.
Nakagami pouring over data. A shake of the head from Quartararo. From El Diablo.
Well, nothing wrong with Sector 4 on that lap, was there? Picked up about 3/4 of a second.
So I mean, that's just a guess. Not really sure. Diego Gubalini there, just on the right. Tom on the left, taking notes.
Yeah, he's out there now, warming up those soft tyres. Valentino Rossi. When he got into time attack factory Aprilia, as we said earlier on tonight, it was very rare that an Aprilia has topped a dry session in MotoGP. That's exactly what happened for this.
So good, doesn't it? This 2021 Aprilia.
If they can just find a bit more too hesitant, a little bit too cautious to push too hard in the first 2 or 3 laps, wary that the last thing you need to do is make a mistake. And 3/10 he's got in his pocket as he powers the RSGP over the line. Yeah, he has gone top. 53.646. He's almost
the line for Franco Morbidelli. This would be an excellent salvage job, wouldn't it? Second place, 53.699 after the day he's 2-1-2, although I don't think that's going to be good enough to get through.
No, it's gone as
Q2.
Well. Cancelled, Steve, for exceeding the track limit.
Actually, that was on
system, immediately wiping out that lap. Miller back in the groove again. We saw him fast through Sector 1 on his last circuit.
Lost to 3. Just loses time in. Oh, wow, a massive moment for Jack Miller.
Huge moment, big moment.
Rear end coming round.
Looks there, Jack Miller. And sometimes those are sort of crashes where you can get problems with your shoulders. It's so So there's confirmation from the FIA MotoGP stewards. The lap time cancelled for Valentino Rossi. Briefly he was 10 by much, was it? But with the new sensor system, that would have picked that one up. So Valentino Rossi with the hardest of the session remaining. Everybody now is going for it on soft tyres.
Really important lap coming in here from the world champion on the 7 days ago. What has he got here through Sector 3? The Suzuki normally pretty strong in this 3rd sector.
You could just see that Suzuki
lose too much more time. 4/10 down already. His estimated P11. Brand new rubber going in again then for fresh session.
Yeah, big 5 minutes as well for the world champion. Turn 16 was crawled through by 1 spot to 13th, 54.277. So he's still got to find 3/10 to get on
times in this session so far. Nakagami is in 9th. The riders who need to find times, who are out of the top 10, depends on how early the crash was for Nakagami.
He's going to be gutted here, Jack Miller, because at the moment, on scare, last time he was out on circuit.
This will be surely good enough, if it counts, to get him into.
Glad to see Taka Nakagami, if somewhat slowly, back on his feet. Miller does go top. It was a low 150 right in front of him.
And I think he's just rolled out at turn 1 as well, so is he banking on that? Valentino Rossi on the Frenchman.
Valentino Rossi at the moment dumped down to 18th place. Improvements coming on this.
Escape any lap time being removed from him here. I think that he'll have approached that corner before the marshals.
Just let's go underneath him.
It would be costly for Zarco. Maverick Vinales, wow,
squeezes in.
Just about squeezes in. That's provided the LFL champion. Is he going to be going into Q1 again?
He needs the best 4th sector of his life here in Qatar. Another Q1 spot for Mia. And another Friday of frustration for Mia.
Well, we may see some changes ahead of Bagnaia, although, again, Bagnaia and Zarco, that's in question. Quartuaro, what a job.
The Ducatis in the top 5. The factory Ducati 1-2 of Miller and Bagnaia. That's where we were this time of the weekend for the factory Ducati team. It didn't really go their way on Sunday night when it really mattered. So they'll be keeping a little next
out of the top 10 overall. But that again could change as yet. Petrucci out, Mir with that. Binder 18th there to Bastianini, Marini, Savadori and Iker Lekawa. Martin has to stand out there, but I'm sure a very happy Davide Tardozzi standing by with Simon right now.
Yes,
It's insane.
enjoy and good luck.
Thank you.
Insane performance then by Jorge Martin. Not a bad performance by Oscar, making it a Ducati 1-2-3. Quartararo 4th, ahead of the impressive rookie Martin. Aleix Espargaro quickest in FP1. He was 6th out of the 14th. Taka Nakagami, another crash for him on the front end. He was 15th. Another fall as well for Alex Marquez, his LTR Honda teammate.